Let's solve this quadratic inequality. The parabola is less than equals to 0. Let's try factoring and sketching the parabola. So we know that x times x is x squared. Minus 2 minus 3 is correct because they multiply to be 6 and add to be negative 5. And we don't actually have a y value here. We have a 0 here. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to solve this quadratic inequality. But we know the critical points occur at x equals 2 and 3. If you can draw this parabola, you'll see things better. So this is 2, this is 3. And visualize a nice parabola here. We're not talking about y, we're talking about 0. When is this parabola, this part here on the left, less than equals to 0? For what domain? So we're really going to focus on the part in which the parabola has a y value less than equal to 0, and it's only true when you're underwater. Your boat is underwater between here, 2 and 3, including the endpoint, because we're going to include this endpoint here. This is less than equals to 0. X is between, including the endpoints, 2 and 3. Why don't we take a look on Desmos? When we punch this into Desmos, this or x squared minus 5x plus 6, you can see that indeed the graph sometimes has a y value less than 0, between 2 and 3. But the question is asking, when is it underneath 0, less than equals to 0, and is only true between the domain from here to here? If you crush this boat, you could think better from side to side. Do not be confused with the y values. Focus on the domain. From 2 to 3, it is true. So you can see that we have a nice triple run statement. Between 2, including the endpoints, x less than equals to 3. So between here and here, this condition is true. So by the way, so we just use the set notation here. Let's use interval notation. This is the same thing as between 2, comma 3, and the square brackets mean including the endpoints. This is less than equals to. If we used the rounded brackets, it would mean only less than, not including the equal sign. So using a number line, we know that this is 2, and we're actually going to include the point 2, and this is 3. We're going to actually include the number 3 because of the equal sign here. And we know that it's true between here and here. Now let's try the same question when it's greater or equals to 0. So we're no longer concerned about the boat being underwater. This curved boat, we're interested in when it's above the water, greater than 0. When is the y value above the water, above the x-axis? And it's true when x is less than or equals to 2 or greater or equals to 3. There's a gap in the middle. So we just said we have the critical points, x equals 2 and 3 from factoring above. But we know that x is less than or equals to. In the previous question, it was less than or equals to, but in this current question, there's no equal sign. So we're simply going to say less than 2, or, and there's a gap in the middle, x is greater than 3. So be careful, because this has no equal sign, this is not less than or equals to, it's simply less than 2. There's a gap. So using interval notation, we could say from infinity all the way to 2, but not including 2. If this was less than or equals to 2, you'd have a square bracket. This u is a union symbol. It means along with. From 3 all the way to infinity. And notice how infinity also has a rounded bracket. You cannot actually equal infinity. So this is a mathematical notation using interval notation. And on a number line, you can have 0 in the middle. You can have 1, 2, 3. We know that for this particular condition, greater than 0, we're going to focus on the number 2, but not including 2. So it's going to be a hollow circle. And there's going to be a hollow circle at 3. And we're going to say from negative infinity This is from negative infinity. We better correct that. Negative infinity means to the left. And the 3 to the right means positive infinity. You don't have to write the plus sign, but it's positive infinity means to the right. This is infinity. So this here is the domain. And this here is the number line. And now it's your turn.